Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Καλώς ήρθατε και σε ακόμα ένα webinar του Product Community Greece. Είναι το συγκεκριμένο για το μήνα Απρίλιο και αυτή τη φορά είναι διαφορετικό από τα υπόλοιπα. Από τις άλλες φορές που είχαμε παρουσιάσει, αυτή τη φορά θα έχουμε ένα Fireside Chat, το οποίο το κάνουμε με πολύ αγαπημένους φίλους και καλούς στον χώρο του Product Management και του Design, αλλά δεν βιάζομαι, θα τους κάνω ανάμεσα σε λίγο. Λοιπόν, για όσους έχετε πρώτη φορά εδώ πέρα, είμαστε στο Product Community Greece, έχουμε site, μπορείτε να μας βρείτε στο site μας και στο LinkedIn και στο Meetup. Γενικότερα ο στόχος μας είναι να φέρουμε ανθρώπους του χώρου μαζί και να μοιράσουμε γνώση γύρω από το Product Management, ωραία, και best practices στο τι κάνουμε. Οπότε θέλουμε να χτίσουμε μια πλατφόρμα που κάνουμε networking και να εμπλουτίσουμε τις σχέσεις των product ανθρώπων στην Ελλάδα. Και τα actions που κάνουμε κάθε μήνα σχεδόν είναι να κάνουμε online webinars, τουλάχιστον μια φορά το μήνα. Έχουμε blog στο οποίο ανεβάζουμε όλα μας τα νέα και content από διάφορους ανθρώπους, από εμάς, από product managers της Ελλάδας και γενικότερα που βλέπουμε κι εμείς. Κάνουμε interviews ή fireside chats όπως το σημερινό. Και φυσικά εννοείται για να τα μαθαίνετε όλα μας τα νέα, μας κάνετε follow στις σελίδες μας και τα κάνουμε share καθημερινά, κάθε εβδομάδα, αναλόγως τη συχνότητα. Έχουμε ένα website, το έχουμε ανεβάσει αυτό εκεί πέρα. Ανεβάζουμε πίσω όλα μας τα νέα εκεί πέρα, όλα μας τα events. Μπαίνετε, βλέπετε, μπορείτε να γράφετε και στο newsletter, το οποίο προσπαθούμε να έχουμε και σε μηνιαία βάση. Οπότε θα χαρούμε να σας δούμε και εσάς mail του newsletter. Να πούμε ένα ευχαριστώ τους sponsors που έχουμε αυτή τη στιγμή, είναι η Orphan και Learnwords. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ και για όλα αυτά τα εργαλεία που έχουμε, site, Zoom και οτιδήποτε άλλο μας βοηθάει να χρησιμοποιήσουμε πίσω. Και λίγα λόγια για την ομάδα. Είμαι ο Γιάννης Παπίκας, είμαι στο product της Orpheum. Είναι η Όλγα Ημαβή, co-founder και head of product της Social και η Κάια Κυπριωτάκη, product at Learnwords. Εμείς είμαστε στην ομάδα του Product Community Greece. Όποιος χρειάζεται κάτι, give us a message, μπορείτε να μας βρείτε στο LinkedIn. Έχουμε και τα στοιχεία επικοινωνίας φυσικά του community. Οπότε, give us a call. Τώρα, έχουμε Fireside Chat, οπότε μπορούμε να βάλουμε τις ερωτήσεις μας. Μπορείτε και εσείς να γράψετε τις ερωτήσεις που θέλετε για τα παιδιά εδώ. Μπείτε στο slido.com, βάλτε το κωδικό που βλέπετε μπροστά σας. Θα στείλουμε και το αντίστοιχο link και στο chat για να μπορείτε να μπείτε και από εκεί. Ωραία, οπότε feel free, μπείτε, γράψτε τις ερωτήσεις σας. Μπορείτε να κάνετε vote και τις ερωτήσεις που έχουν γράψει και οι υπόλοιποι. Ωραία, και θα βοηθήσει και εμάς στην κουβέντα που κάνουμε να τις περάσουμε και στα παιδιά. Οπότε, without further ado, θέλω να καλωσορίσω στο Fireside σήμερα τον Mike Giannakopoulos, Senior Product Manager Transifex και τον Θάνο Papavasileiou, Product Designer Transifex. Και κάπου εδώ κάνω στο share και δίνω το λόγο στα παιδιά. Αν θέλετε να πείτε ένα intro, τι κάνετε, Mike.
Γεια σας. Είμαι ο Μιχάλης, Mike με λένε όλοι, οπότε hello. Έχουμε ένα request για να πάμε σε αγγλικά. Είμαστε όλοι OK να πάμε σε αγγλικά?
Ναι, το είδα και εγώ τώρα. Μπορούμε να πάμε σε αγγλικά, ναι. Άμα είσαι και εσείς OK.
Good. So, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Mike from Transifex. I'm working in product for approximately 5-6 years. And right now I'm a senior product manager. And I'm heavily involved with Mr. Thanos, working on the design aspect of product as well. So that's it from me, and passing on to Thanos for an intro.
Thank you, Mike. Γεια χαρά, everyone. My name is Thanos Papavasileiou. I'm a product designer. I'm designing for the internet and in general digital products for the last 10 or 12 years, approximately. I'm a product designer in Transifex. I'm working with Mike. We are the PET team, as we like to call it, the product experience team. And yeah, hopefully we're going to have a great conversation today.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Thanos. It's awesome to have you here. So I will jump directly in on the first question. You mentioned the PET team. and I think this is the main concept for today, the main subject. So what's exactly PET team, the product experience team, how do you define it in Transifex?
Hello.
Mike, do you want to get that or me?
All right, I'll start and you can jump in at any time.
Okay.
So in Transifex, design is a part of the product team. So Thanos is a product designer and belonging to the product team. And at some point, around 1.5 years ago, is that right, Thanos?
Yes, I think so. 1.5 years.
Yeah. We decided to create a sub-team inside product that will focus on the design aspects of things. At that point, we said that, okay, design is not a fitting word to describe what we know we should do in the product, and we should call it something including the experience, because we're doing a lot of stuff past design, like user interviews, user research, usability testing, lots of stuff on that direction. And all in all, the vision was to include more people on that can affect the experience. So we thought of product experience team, and then I don't recall who said that. I believe it was Nikos, our CTO, said, okay, that's PET. And that's how PET came to be. Do you recall anything else? I don't know.
Yeah, no, you said it perfectly. Although to me, all these processes and the stuff that we do, it is part of the design in general. But we were discussing whether that's design or user experience, but we are in the product team and we are designing the product and we do other stuff for the product as well. So it's a product experience, user experience. Product experience seems relevant, and it seemed relevant at the point for us. So, and we still like it, so why not?
And of course, the first presentation was a bulldog,
Yeah.
and not a chihuahua.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question on this one, because from what you're describing a team with product design and management craft inside, and there are a lot of resources in the last 1-2 years, a lot about product discovery, and there is a term about product trios. Is it something close to that, perhaps, or not? Or we don't have any engineers inside?
You want to take that?
Yes, Thanos.
Yeah, product trios is something that we are trying, and the fact is that we are not a lot of designers in the team, right? We are 2 designers and Mike, and we have to be all-around players to help all the teams, and this requires a different kind of structure in how we work with teams and how we can be available to every mission that the team decides. Product managers make our lives really easier, because we have really very specific set of goals every quarter. So we know what's coming, and we also have the breathing room to achieve our own goals, or if we see something, we can put it out of the drawer and start working on it directly. But all of this makes us not when you have 4 development teams on a team, on a company, you need 1 designer per team, right? That's a structure. But we don't work like that. So we are a few designers, maybe 2 or 3, hopefully we're going to be more, and we are designing for everyone at the same time. So this requires product trios. This requires some processes that we have put in place so we can be more effective to what we do, and also because we are not an army, we are a few people, we are also all-around players. That means that we are not staying in one lane, we're not doing UI, we're not doing user interviews, we're not doing usability testings, we're not gathering data, or we're not doing the analysis. We're not facilitating workshops, we do everything. But we're trying to be focused at what we do at every time. But because we kind of declare ourselves all-around players, we try to establish a process that helps us be focused every single time to what we do. And to the other teams, always feel that we are there for them, like we are an integral part of the team, of every development team, because we have separate development teams, but we don't belong to any squad specifically. We are our own team, and so yeah. I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, I think I understood that this is a bigger thing where you can work with many teams, and this is my follow-up question. Basically, how do you actually work with other teams, other departments? I guess, Mike, this is for you, as perhaps you can work as a glue for this team with other teams.
Yeah, so again, around 7-8 months ago, we understood that we need to find a better way to manage all this load. And what we ended up doing is we rolled back to PM stuff, because that's what I do, right? And right now we have a Kanban board with design tasks and design tickets that we update, and we have a backlog with design work and design tickets. And we try to address all that load in this manner. We try to leave this open so that both, well, actually the Thanos and I think our other designer can interact with the teams and bring in new tasks, new tickets, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just an organization structure, is not just measuring velocity, stuff like that. So that we know where we're standing, we know what's our capacity, we know that there is a central place where we can communicate to other teams. Look, this is your task. Right now it's in the backlog, or right now is into do number 3, and we're going to start working on that later on. Or right now it's in progress. Right? So this is a way we figured out to settle this up. For sure, we're working like so with the development teams, working on missions or even on smaller tasks. And we're trying to jump to other teams as well. So there are some tasks that we are doing with marketing that require our attention, and some tasks that we're doing with sales. Again, we're trying to address them in a similar manner. And everything that has to do with design is added in this board. So even, our usability testing sessions, research sessions, or whatever is added there, and we have this organized like so.
Okay, so I'm very curious, because whenever I hear the word backlog, I have like a lot of questions. So basically, you said one backlog for this team, and you mentioned about the development teams. So basically, one item on the backlog is like an epic on a development team somewhere in different board, or just for one person task?
No, it's a one-person task.
Okay.
It's just a minimum item that the other team can take the outcome and work on it. It's not bigger. If it's something bigger, we break it down into smaller tasks. We're not at the state that we create epics, because our development teams are way past using Jira. We don't require them to use Jira at this point. So it's just a way to communicate what we're currently working on as PET, and what's our plan on what we plan to work on next.
Okay. And the second follow-up question is how do you actually prioritize this backlog? Do you have a specific criteria?
The main entry, the main criteria there is unblock anything that requires development. Okay. We're at the fortunate state that we're way past that, and we have introduced even smaller stuff that we actually want to work on. So we have a ticket. Sorry for the sound. We have a ticket that says, okay, the pet team will block 2 and 4 hours to work on their vision, right? Or we have another one where we add emojis, we add a little sweet at the beginning to signify that this is something very small in terms of design that doesn't require any research, any whatever, but it's if we deliver that, we know our users will be happy. You know, some quality of life improvements and some smaller requests.
Okay, nice. And how long this team operates?
Thanos?
I think it's almost more than a year, something like that. A year and a half that we are operating through that name officially. Yeah, but I mean, we don't operate in the same way. We've changed as a team and I remember like 9 months ago, we were totally different in how we did things, right, Mike? And now we have matured, we've learned from our mistakes, we had some discussions internally, and we reached a point where we are, I think, happy, but I mean, it's always room. We always have room for improvements, and you know, as team changes or as the other teams are changing, so we need to change. So we need to change as well.
Is there a defining moment that you want to share with us, perhaps in this 1 year history of the team?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was, I think, a pet event, a pet day event, as we like to call it. We gathered in Athens. Mike came from Monemvasia, I came from Zvonos, northern Greece, and we met our colleague Athena in Athens in a nice cafe. That was also a really great restaurant, really great food there. We can share the info later. And Mike had an agenda. We had read a book, and we also did a few sessions before that. We kind of laid out what we want to talk about, what are the problems, not the how, but how people are concerned about our process and their communication with us, or the effectiveness that we have as a team, or the impact that we have but don't communicate enough with the other teams, all of that. And that was it. It was a day or two. I think it was 1.5 days. We sat together, sat down, we sketched out the problems and a few solutions, and we've talked it out, and we set up some processes. And that was, I think, the most defining moment in the pet team's history that started to shape how we do things now. Right, Mike? Or do you want to add something?
I want to add something. The book that I brought to the team, all right, I got lots of pulling in those 2 days. So it's the book I brought to the team. But eventually, yeah, we're adopting it. I'm sure you all know that book. It's Continuous Discovery Habits. And it was hard at the beginning, but then it was cool, and then it was hard again, but now it's cool. So everything is cool.
I guess it was a requirement for everyone in the team to read the book.
Yeah.
Okay. And So basically, so you have this alignment that you did for 2 days. Is it something that you do often or just once? I mean, do you continue doing this after that?
Yeah,
Mike?
we're not doing that in that scale, but we have some weekly processes and meetings that we try to. We either have an open agenda or specific topics that we are syncing. So we're syncing as a team twice a week. And apart from that, we have a design meeting where we invite everyone from the company to join us and talk about whatever or anything. For example, I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago that our QA engineer, Thanos, joined our meeting, and they essentially they took a task. They created a task with Thanos, and Thanos is working on fixing a specific issue that our QA engineer found out, because repetitions and QA testing said, guys, you need to fix this. I do this 1,000 times and it's very frustrating.
So it goes on top of the list and please fix it now.
Yeah.
That's a great thing because Stelios is a QA guy. So what he brings in the table is a data point, right? It's what I would look like. It's what I would look for when I'm gathering evidence before I design something. So Stelios came from his own. I mean, we didn't call him. He just came with the data, with some research, and said, guys, here it is, fix it, please. And then we took it, we asked other departments. I mean, we've talked with customer success, and we've seen some GIA tickets from the past, and we aligned this evidence to Stelios's suggestion, and we saw that, yeah, that's an issue. And then we try to use it ourselves, and it's unusable. And I mean, it makes sense. And we have the data, just fix it. So it was like Mike said, it was a small task. It was an easy fix, but it was kind of hidden somewhere between the vast depth of our product. And then, yeah, we just did it. And I think it's on development right now, Mike, right?
I think so, yeah.
In production, yeah. So that's a great point to communicate what design brings to the table to other departments in the team. And we try to be more open to call more people from other departments to join the design meeting. So design meeting is not for us, it's for every other person in the team that wants to participate in designing the product. So we have front-end developers, guys from QA, sometimes from customer success, and we are really trying to bring sales to that as well.
Yeah, and actually
sorry,
go ahead. Sorry.
I forgot marketing. We also have people from marketing really involved on that as well.
Yeah, I guess design covers the entire flow from sales, marketing to development, so it does make sense. Yeah, what I was going to say is that it's very important to have other crafts in these either meetings or ceremonies or alignment. You have QA, engineering, because you want to build trust, you want to build communication, you want to break the silos, you want to give power or ownership, let's say, to everyone to affect what they are doing and the products. And I think we all have experiences with products where the product manager says something, the developer just execute, and this does not, let's say, end well a lot of times. So yes, I think having the QA and engineers join the meetings and actually bringing tickets is very important for you. So do you even consider having one in the team like permanently, or does it make sense? You just have them involved in alignment. Mike?
I think it's a matter of team size at this moment. So we're trying to optimize what we can get from the team that we have without overloading everyone. So far, this podium, the design meeting, helps a lot into bringing in stuff. And yeah, me being part of this meeting means that I bring in the product perspective, and it acts as well as you know, a learning meeting where people learn a lot of crafts and can contribute that back into the product, the application. So yeah, it's we try to cover it and wrap it in all the ways possible to optimize how we use our times.
All right. Want to go back a little bit on the product discovery part, and I would like to ask, how do you work with product discovery? So how do you evaluate your customer needs, and how do you evaluate the ideas you have, and to see if they fit? Do you do any prototyping? Do you do any A/B testing or something? Thanos?
Yeah. So we don't have I mean, it would be great to do some A/B testing, but we don't have the numbers. So any A/B testing would be, the results would be insignificant. So that's out of the picture. We are trying to, first of all, we are trying to validate anything that comes our way. So if it comes from a client or from a customer side, if it comes through a Jira ticket form, or from a customer success team, or from our product board feature that our clients vote, the things that they wanna see, or the things that they want to fix, we are trying to get the other data points from other sources, and we're trying to combine that. And then we try to see if this aligns with the goals that we have for this quarter, for example, because we're always working with specific goals. So if they are in alignment with that, and if we have the capacity, and basically capacity, it's out of the question, because you asked how do we evaluate, right? Something that comes as a request to build.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is the first thing that we do. We are trying to combine from other sources of data, and if they match, then the thing gets a point. And then if we decide to pursue it, if it's aligned with our goals, and if it's a big one, if it requires a lot of developer hours, a lot of design hours and stuff like that, then we launch some research sessions, and that's gonna be probably user interview sessions, moderated user interview sessions with some of our customers. Or it could be, if it's smaller, it could be that we already have an idea that we want to test. We're gonna build a static Figma prototype, or maybe not so static, and we're gonna do moderated usability testings with some of our customers, or some of our clients, and we have the ability to actually find people who are interested to a specific feature each time, and go find them and ask specifically if the thing that we thought about is solving their problem. So we are testing with very specific people that we know that they are in need of that thing that we are doing at any given moment. So yeah, it's always going to be some research involved at first, whether that's going to be a usability testing in a static Figma prototype or a user interview session. It depends on how big is the project and how abstract it is as well. So that's kind of how we are evaluating things. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
I recall a case where it was not with Thanos, it was with Athena, where we wanted to test an SDK. So we have developed an application a new SDK, a new technology called Transifex Native. And it was 2 years ago that we had some assumptions that said, okay, what kind of people are going to use that? How are we going to test that? And Athena came up with an idea where we go and test out the documentation. Build the documentation and talk with our customers and test out the documentation. And yeah, we got back that feedback, and it actually, it was very useful because that's the behavior we finally saw when we implemented that.
I have a small follow-up question on this. So it looks like a metric, but I'm curious. So you described, Thanos, a full cycle of research, analysis, a lot of, let's say, action that you do. Do you have an average? How much time do you need for a ticket to actually go from one point to done actually and to actually build something? So how much time do you spend on research? It would be like for one ticket, like a week, a month, 2 days, or it depends. Thanos.
Yeah, it depends actually on how soon we can find available customers to talk with. But once we find them, and once we start the research process, we usually do like maybe 12 sessions, and each session is approximately 45 minutes to 60 minutes. We're trying to be as fast as possible so we don't make people regret that we got that they went in the call with us, because we want to ping them again and again and again. And so far, the feedback that we have is that they are glad that they're talking to us, because after 2 or 3 or 5 months, they're actually seeing what we were discussing being live, and we are solving their problem. So maybe, so we're talking about like 8 to 12 hours, business hours for the user interviews, and then what I at least trying to be better at is to somehow take notes that after a session I kind of understand, so I don't have to go through all the video again. From my notes, I remember the key points, and I'm jumping from point to point to save some time. So I will say that maybe then I need like a few days to to go through my notes, see half of the videos, and see what patterns have been occurred, and make a first analysis, and then bring it to the team. And after that, so that could be like 1 or 2 weeks, or maybe 3 weeks, but it's not continuously. I mean, we're not focusing on that only because, I mean, we have a lot of dead time in between, so we are doing other things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it could be stretched out in 3 weeks, or it could stretch out in 1.5 weeks if we are lucky and we find everyone together. So we know that from the beginning. So we are planning with the teams accordingly. So we are taking our time. That's the truth. But we are not we don't stop being productive to other things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
after that, we need a couple of days to discuss with the team what we found, and if our idea was good, it was what are the problems, what are the patterns, and what are the insights, and then we collaboratively taking decisions on how to proceed. And after that, the actual design phase, the actual pixel phase, as we like to call it, or wireframing, actually high fidelity, if we need high fidelity, because most of the time the features are already, the design elements are already there, and we are in a very lucky position to have front-end developers that understand design, and that they they know exactly we are in perfect communication. So instead of designing something in high fidelity, we might just talk to them and they deliver. It's so simple. So the design process takes a few days. It's the smallest process of all that journey.
So basically, you let the team actually decide how to do it on their own instead of actually.
Yeah, because sometimes everything is defined through our style guide and system. So
exactly.
You don't need to, maybe you need some small wireframes, or maybe you need a copywriting session, but that's that. Yeah.
And I have a follow-up question in the comments here. How do you recruit your participants for the moderated usability tests? I guess this is the, let's say, the one that affects the time that you need to make the interviews.
So I'm gonna talk for myself. I always call Nina. You know, when you call Batman or like a superhero, Nina is like a superhero in the team. She is the head of the customer success team, and she has this amazing connection with all of our customers, even the old ones. So when I have the full support of the customer success team, and when I'm sending emails, I know that if I'm gonna send email, if I am gonna send the emails, I'm gonna get late replies and late responses. So I'm using my customer success team and I'm getting answers ASAP. So that's how I reach out, right? This is how I reach out, but I'm finding them through tickets, and sometimes through metrics, because everything that we do is about a goal, and usually the goals are to serve our customers. And because we don't have like 55,000 or 55 million customers, we have a specific number of customers because we're a B2B company. It's easy to understand and find within our company software, whether that's Confluence or Jira or like Help Scout or whatever, who is who, and take a note of that, and then target them, find their email, the contact source, and then target them directly. So yeah, this information for us is easy to find.
Yeah, I would like to add here another source that the team managed to bring into real life. We created a user panel where we recruit people that want to join into these usability testings. So far, we've got some traction with the help again with the development team, the marketing team, to promote this user panel, and we have used this source to conduct our first discovery calls. So yeah, we have our first 3 or 4 discovery calls this past quarter.
Nice. That's a very nice start.
And if I can add something here, there are some things that are very specific, things that only a translator or only a localization manager would understand, or only a Transifex customer would understand. So we need to test them directly with them. And there are other things that are more generic. For example, the color of our sidebar. This is not something that you need to be a localization manager to understand if it's working or not. We have other methods of finding that. So, we ran a test back in the day, I remember, in usabilityhub.com. That wasn't a usability testing or a user interview. It was a really fast session of preference test and 5 seconds test in usabilityhub.com with 2 different colors, with 2 different segments of users. And we find out actually from the attention span and the attention to detail, which version worked better. And we took a decision based on that. So the user panel is also a great tool in our arsenal right now for this kind of things, and some of them are also Transifex users as well, right? So we can use them for other things as well. Yeah.
The good thing about the user testing session was that I believe Dimitris asked this question. Okay, there were two versions that we want to test the sidebar. The cool one, which everyone in our teams liked because it was cool and fancy, and the dull one. So we had identified that there was something brewing there, and we designed the questions so that we figure out whether people are using the cool because it's cool or because it's useful. And this altered the final decision. Spoiler, we went with a dull version because people could read the data.
That's a nice plot twist. Awesome, nice. Thank you very much for that. So I have a question for you, Thanos. It's more specific to the role, and I know from other discussions we have that there is a role of the lean product designer, right? What's that exactly? How does it fit to the team? What's the role? Does it change? Is it something different?
Yeah, I mean, to me, is how a designer should behave within a product. And it's about being aware of the limitations and the resources that you have. And it's about being able to be self-served, autonomous, to be able to make decisions on your own when you can, and respect the other people's time. So being able to go to a meeting with developers, and what you present and what you bring to the table, your solution, is considering how much time it takes something to build, not only what is the ideal user experience for the user. Because I mean, as a designer, I always had a struggle with that. I mean, when I have all the data of the world to support my idea and to support something that I've designed and to support my thesis on something, I'm very passionate about it. I'm coming hot and I'm like, guys, this is it. This is my documentation. This is the reports. This is the data. Just do it. We don't have to talk about it more. I mean, this is it. What do you want from me? I mean, that's a wrong attitude. That's a wrong stance, because it's something that you forgot about it. You forgot about other people. You forgot about their prioritizations, and you forgot about the impact that something less good will have to our customers if it goes public earlier. So you need to adopt the concept of iterations, and you need to be aware of how much time your development team needs to build something. So you need to come to the table with the smallest solution that makes, I mean, with the minimum effort, create the maximum impact. But I mean, you need to always have everything in Figma. You have like 3 versions. The big one that I know that no one is going to build, but it's the vision. It's going to excite people up. It's going to scare some people. Oh my God, what Thanos wants now. It's going to take us 2 years. And then you need to have something in between. And then you need to have something very small. Every single one of these solutions should achieve the same goal. It should have the same result. But I mean, we all know that the big one is the ideal user experience, but it's up to the team as a whole to decide what's going to be built. Because as designers, we need to understand that any of these 3 solutions, even if it's the less ideal for the user, it's going to create a positive impact to our customers. and then we can come back to it, and then we can improve it, and we're going to have even more data. And yeah, I mean, you need to trust your teammates that they're going to do that, and they're not going to forget you, or they're not going to forget about the problem, because we are all after the same thing, right? The success of the company. So this is it. And then, you know, when you have a Jira board with tasks, and you have someone to fill that Jira board with tasks, that someone at some point should be you. So that means that, I mean, in Transifex, when I joined the team, that was really hard because it's a very niche product. I didn't had any experience in the world of localization. We have a really big set of fancy terms that at first I didn't know what they're doing. And if you don't have a great understanding of the product, you cannot achieve this point. But once you do, I think it's essential to be able to create your own tasks, to understand the goals of the product team and the team in general, and create your own path towards them. And don't wait your your product manager or your senior, your lead designer, or your anyone really to micromanage you and set you on that path. It's not about junior or senior designer, it's about how you understand the product. And from the moment that you feel that you do understand the product and you are participating in the product meetings, in the business meetings and all that, you should be able to somehow control your own path regarding of tasks, because you need to be able to understand the goals of the company and the goals of the product team, and then the goals of your team. And you need to understand how you manage your time, when you have free time. So when you can afford chasing the vision, when you can't afford doing that, and you need to serve the teams and all that, and then prioritize. So this way you free up time for everyone else. So this way the developers trust you more, and your manager trusts you more, and everyone is happy, and you have less meetings. And you know, when we are complaining for a lot of meetings that they could become an email, this is the way. This is how it's being done. If you prove that to to your teammates. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that, Thanos. I have an extra question from the audience. So basically, how do you consider the technical limitations or business urgencies in seeing what you want to work on next? Because like being data-driven is very important, but sometimes we all know that you might have the business saying, okay, we have this client, this is a business urgency and we need to do it right now. Or yes, the data are correct, but to build, like what you said, it has technical limitations or something. How does this affect you and your work?
Yeah,
Mike?
I'll take that.
Yes.
We saw in practice that this is where we need the product trio. That's the point, right? Because we have seen in practice that we are quick to iterate on a design and, you know, figure out a solution. Let's move this here and add these 3 awesome buttons there. And when we're done all that work, let's say within a week, because meetings and other stuff, and then we speak with the developer, and you can get that something is wrong before the developer even opens his mouth. Okay, so
Body language.
that's when you realize, all right, no, don't talk at all. So that's when we saw that the product trio could be a solution there, right? So when we get that problem, when we get that request, we try to include at least one developer as early in the process as possible. And actually our current OKRs are based on product trios. So we have one team per OKR with one product person and one designer. And we since the quarter is just starting, right? We just explain what's the problem, and it's everyone's responsibility to figure out solutions.
Exactly. Yeah, totally agree on that.
So we try to bring in more people as soon as possible, before adding our own biases, on they should be blue or they should be green or whatever.
Okay. Nice. So with just a few minutes left for our session, what are your current goals for the team? What you're going to do next? Mike?
Yeah. Ideally, because we have seen how we work, we want to increase the team's impact to more departments. So we want to collaborate more with marketing, want to collaborate more with sales, more with customer success. In general, own a bigger part of the whole experience of people using Transifex. So that's the direction we want to go to. That's the vision, right? It's not like we have step 1, step 2 on how we can move towards that direction, but we feel confident that the impact is going to be great.
Nice. And from what I know is that you're looking to grow your team, right? I guess you're hiring. You want to give some insights on how this is going to look like? What you are looking for?
Yeah, we're looking both for a product designer to expand our team and do more of the stuff, and product manager that can assist on building more on the product side and being the glue on this aspect of the product. In general, this is the way that what we described, and this is the way that the two departments work together. These are the stuff we do. We want to do more of product trio, so we want to organize better our discovery sessions. But yeah, the team is at the point where everyone's contribution is highly valued, and we encourage and want new ideas and new stuff to bring in, people to bring in new stuff.
Nice. Okay. Good luck on that, on finding the right people. So basically, this new you guys are going to join the pet team or not? Just Transifex, right?
It's an open, pet team is not something close, so it's open. For sure, the product designer will be a part of the pet team, but the product manager will work very close with pet, as we're all product and we all have common meetings.
Okay, so I have to ask, it's my last question for you. So recently you just announced some big news, some acquisition. So how do you feel? How do you think that this is going to change your reality? Of course, I know this is very new. If you want to share some things about that, Thanos, Mike, this is open for you guys.
Thanos?
Mike, you take it.
Yeah, on my side, I'm very excited because it's not, it's not a new company. Like Transifex is there for 12 years now, and we needed, someone to steer the ship, to bring in new stuff. So on that side, I believe that's very good. And in terms of how I see that affecting our day-to-day, at this point, I don't feel that we have some impact. Thankfully, the company is doing great, and obviously it's doing great because of stuff we do daily, all of us. So why change that if not just to improve it? So we know that the team is here, and we have the acquisition to prove this. So I don't expect something to change soon. For the future, we'll see. Knowing our team and how the team evolves, I expect things will be quite different in 6 months from now, but not, not specifically because of the acquisition, because of what's the soup, the people that are in the soup.
Exactly. All right. Guys, I think we are just on time. Thank you very much for your time today. For me, it was like all amazing, the knowledge that I got from you and all these questions. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Thanos, today.
Pleasure.
And hopefully, I know that we might meet again in a future webinar. Yeah, stay tuned. And for everyone that is watching this webinar right now, you know where to find us. We have the LinkedIn and the Meetup pages. We also have the website. I had them in the slide. I will skip like showing the slide right now. But yeah, and of course, feel free to reach out directly to us or to Mike or to Thanos if you have any questions about Transifex or the community. And yeah, thank you very much again. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.